The Design and Remodeling Show with Custom Built.
Welcome to the Design and Remodeling Show, where we discuss all things home improvement. I'm Isabel Broidigan with Custom Built Design and Remodeling, and each week we bring you expert insights and practical tips to help you transform the place you live into a home you love. And today I have with me Michael Flory, founder and CEO of Custom Built Design and Remodeling. And Michael, I want to talk about kitchens. Kitchens are the heart of the home. Honestly, the place where most life happens and where meaningful conversations and impactful moments take place. So can you walk me through, the main reasons that you see people remodeling their kitchens?
Thanks, Isabel. I'm super excited to be with you today, and talking about the kitchen is going to be so exciting. Like you said, it's the heart of the home. And I often think, when you first get into this, that people they want to cook different. But the reality is it's so much more than that. It's part of it. They want to cook, but the kitchen is a place where they want to interact, and at big gatherings that you can be in the kitchen and be interacting with your family out there. On top of that, they do wear out, or they're dated, or they're just don't have it anymore, or the cabinets don't work. I mean, the layout of it. So those are some of the key things that we hear, but honestly, it's usually more of an emotional reason. They're just really frustrated that they can't have their whole family in there, or while they're cooking in the kitchen for 2 hours, it's so small that they can't get around an island and they're bumping into each other. And if it's partners or husbands and wives, just usually we hear it's the husband, get out of here, kind of a thing. And so there's tension and stuff. So we are hearing people that want to make their spaces work better for them.
Yeah, and when I think about redesigning and remodeling a kitchen, there's a lot of design decisions people can make. What is the most common, or some of the most common things that you see people wanting to change in their home? Is it the layout? Is it, taking walls down? What's the direction people typically come to you with?
Yeah, I think oftentimes it starts with a big grand vision. That's one option. And then the other option is they just want to take what they have in the house, take out and put in new. So we call that a pull and replace.
Okay.
Just keep everything the same. We're not moving a bunch of stuff. That's one option. And then the other option is gutted it, get rid of the walls, let's open this thing up, whole flooring through the whole house. So it's no longer a kitchen remodel. We call that a whole house remodel a lot of times, but we can reel it back in and we can just remove a wall. But the two biggest differences would be, one is the pull and replace is it's what they have is worn out, but it works.
Yeah.
So they just want to update it. That's going to be a more economical remodel versus this wall in this room that we never use, this dining room. We never use this dining room. If we got rid of that wall, we can make the kitchen bigger. We would have more space to move around. We could get rid of this island. So those are some things. I mean, some other, items are there's not enough lighting in there, or the natural lighting, and there's the lighting that we have in there doesn't work. So those can be some other reasons as well.
Yeah. So when I think of the function of the kitchen, like we touched on already, it's the place where a lot of life happens. So what are some of those design features that homeowners often ask for in a kitchen?
Well, life is about moments, right? If they're single, or if there's a partnership, or if it's a husband and wife, oftentimes it's the woman that's making, I would say, the majority of the decisions on that. And it's about connection. And so creating a space where there can be moments of connection while you're working in the kitchen. And then it's just funny because even at our house, and I hear this all the time, it's everybody wants to be in the kitchen and it's just not big enough. Even if they're not cooking, it's people go to the kitchen, So, in newer home designs and in some of some of the changes in architecture versus the 70s, when a lot of houses in Lansing were built, or the 50s, 60s, and 70s. So some of these olders, they're very similar. They have very similar issues versus newer homes. But creating spaces where people can be together. I mean, that's what the kitchen's all about, right? We use the kitchen to create the food so that we can sit at a table and be together. So I think we're hearing often is people want to be together, or the friction of being in a kitchen that's too small, frustration with that. And then kind of back to the original, another one of the reasons is what they have is worn out, or they don't like it. They hate the way it looks,
Can you tell me what the process is like for a homeowner when they decide, I want to do this kitchen remodel? What's the next step that they would take?
Yeah, so everybody's different in how they go about it. Some people, you can go to our website, you can read all about that, or you can go to any website as a matter of fact, and there's just so much information out there about kitchens. So I think one of two ways. Typically people call us up and they're ready to remodel. That's one, or they've already gone to a kitchen showroom to look at cabinets because they think about the cabinets as the kitchen, but there's so much more. But usually initially is like, we kind of, if somebody reaches out to us, we're going to ask them questions about what their vision is, why they're wanting to do it. Is it just a pull and replace where we want to update everything, or is it there's a major function issue and we need to solve that? So it just really starts with maybe writing your vision out. I think everybody's different. So some people want to write a list. Other people get a piece of paper out and they kind of draw the outline of what they would want to see. That could be on a napkin. You can have some homeowners that have CAD background, and so will show up and they have a CAD background and they've done some of that. Other people, visual. So it's getting on Pinterest. It's visiting, following people on, Instagram, designers and things like that. And they've got a bunch of clipped ideas of what they're looking for. But I think that's the real beginning. And then again, if you're married or you have a partner, it's like getting on the same page. We get this all the time, man. It's one of the things I love most about this is that we get to work with people that have different ideas about what's best for their home. And we get to be that third party and help them work through. And at the end, the most exciting thing is once they get through the whole process, and then the whole process of designing it, then the real pain happens where we go in and we tear their house apart. And it's kind of a mess for a while, and then get it put back together. But I'd say starting with that vision and working together to come up with what are the most important things, the wishes that you want, which is like, we want to tear that wall out, but the needs are, we got to have new cabinets. That would be an example of like 3 types of lists that you can make. And then the pictures to kind of support that.
So kind of that wishes, what you want, and then your needs. Those are the 3 lists.
And I'll add this is about, it can be really overwhelming for a lot of people getting started with. Because you just think about there's hundreds of decisions that have to be made. And the biggest ones are the layout. What is the layout going to be? What are we doing? Those are the big decisions, but there's so many other micro hundreds, thousands of decisions that have to be made, and people can get overwhelmed. So start somewhere. Today's the day. Seize the moment. Let's get your kitchen going and start with an idea, a picture. That's all you got to do.
That's amazing. So digging deeper into the process, if somebody reaches out to Custom Built, what's that process that we're going to guide them through? Yeah,
so an initial phone call, we'll gauge you with a phone call. We'll learn about your vision. If it sounds like you're ready to get started in the process, we'll come out and meet with you at your home in your space and get to learn about your family and what your goals are. And that's super exciting. That's the initial engagement. And we'll go around. A big part of remodeling is we got to get existing measurements and then understand the conditions that are in the space. So that's a big part of that meeting. So usually about an hour long meeting. We'll take a bunch of your information. If you have that wish, wants, needs list filled out, we'll take that information and then we'll go back and we'll spend some time putting together your project and coming up with an initial budget range to work with us, because we're a design build company. We do all the design. We'll help spec your whole project. So we take something that's very complex and can take a long time, and we shrink it down into 3 or 4 meetings to get your vision and your dream before you.
And that's during the design phase?
That's during the design phase. But before we start there, we have you come back to the office and we get to meet with you and present to you sort of a budget range of what it would cost to get started to do that. We like to begin with the end in mind at Custom Built. So if we're gonna head down a design path, we want you to understand before you start going there what the potential costs could be, so that you don't get to the end of this design and you wanted to take out this whole wall and you went to all these showrooms and you spent all this time, and now the job is $50,000 more than what you were expecting it to be. It's a waste of everybody's time and all that energy that you put into it. So let's start with like what you want, and then we can talk about options and things like that. And then we get going and we get down the design path, and we'll help you see your space first, kind of re-envision through 3D renderings, Then we'll help you with all your selections. We'll pull it all together. Depending on the homeowner, we might just give them one choice because they want us to handle it all. Or they might ask us to, hey, give me 3 options. But we pull it all together in our showroom. And again, we reduce the amount of time that somebody has to spend. And some people love to research. So they're working with our designer, kind of some back and forth on different ideas, and we tweak it, and then we land on what they want, and then we can give them a final price. And then once that's done, that's where, the real action starts. People think about when they first think about custom built is like, tear my space apart, So once we get those final decisions, we can then, and land on a fixed price, we can then start the ordering process and the pre-construction work that has to happen, any permitting, pulling together schedules and calendars, and our team, we'll have a unique team often for each type of project, depending on the flooring or the types of countertops and the specialty things that might happen in a kitchen. So, and then the excitement really happens when we show up day one and we tear your place apart. And then over a course of maybe 6 weeks to, depending on the complexity of a project, could be up to 20 weeks if it's a full custom renovate the entire main floor, maybe even adding on a space to make the kitchen a little bit bigger to give you what you want. Those can be upward to 20 weeks of us being in your home. But with a plan and an execution plan to get you there and keep you on time and on budget is really important.
Yeah. So, remodeling, you can do it several different ways, right? You can do it yourself. You can self-manage it where you hire all the contractors, or you can hire somebody who's full service design build. So tell me why, for a kitchen remodel in particular, hiring somebody who's got that design build process can be really beneficial for a homeowner.
Yeah, I think it's buying back your time and then giving you confidence in the deliverable of what you're going to get. So some people have a gift and love to do it. So I would say with you, probably the DIY option or the self-manage option is a great option. If you like to do it and manage people, that's great. You'll save time, or you'll save money. The time, you'll invest a lot more time. Yeah. So the design build option is really for that homeowner that they might know what they like, or they might not have a clue as to what they want, and they want us to do it all for them. But we're really buying back your time. In exchange, it's going to cost more, obviously, for the full service experience where you get a designer, you get the build process all into one.
Now, that designer piece, talk to me about your design team that you currently have and your vision for that. Because I think when people think of their kitchen, they often want to know before they choose, I'm going to do this project, they want to know what the space is going to look like. Yeah. So what options do you have for homeowners who want to see the space beforehand? And then what does your design team look like? Yeah.
So I think for us, this is something that really was born out of a lot of pain for me as a builder. Is early on, I did all that, and a lot of builders do. They do it, or they send people to this place or that place, but it ends up taking so long, and you can't get people to land on stuff, and they're never confident. And as a builder, you're trying to build it, but they don't even know what flooring they want. And so I had to do a lot of that myself, and that's not my core gift. I'm better at building a team and guiding projects and kind of seeing the next step and helping make sure things. That's where I love to do, is build a team. And so really we went out and we believe that, if we had our own design team in-house in the residential market, it's kind of rare to find somebody. Interior designers are great, but they would help me, but it was like they were busy with all their others. So when we decided that we were going to go out and find trained people that knew how to do design and build a team that could support the guiding process that I love to do and really make that smooth. So we have a lead designer, Christine, who is educated and went through U of M, and she really loves design, and she's got a lot of creativity and comes up with amazing ideas. And then we also have some graduates from Kendall College that are a part of our team, and then a lot of self-taught trained people on our team too. So we're really expanding that part of our business, because really there's so much to know in design. And when we say design, people think of lots of different things, but there's so many steps. Just like the build process, there's so many steps. And so having a team of people that can put that together and somebody that can run the charge is really important.
Yeah. So last question for you. How does remodeling your kitchen affect the value of your home?
Yeah. So first of all, it's going to change your life. You're going to come home and you're going to want to go in that kitchen, and you're going to want to cook, and you're going to want to have Thanksgiving at your house this year. It's the game changer place if you want to put money into your house. But just from a value aspect, definitely it's going to increase, you know, the sale price of your home and the speed at which you could sell your home. So I think investing in our homes compared to maybe other investments, great things like toys, like cars, and you know, you can buy all these little things. If you invest in your home, it's an appreciating asset. And nothing better. I mean, nothing wrong with putting a new furnace in or a new roof or new windows, but man, when you invest that money in a kitchen, you're not going to regret putting that money in there. It's going to change your life.
Fantastic conversation, Michael. Thank you so much for sharing all that information. And if you're curious to learn more, definitely reach out to Custom Built in Okemos. We'd love to help you out with your project. We'd love to be your partner on the journey of transforming the place you live into a home you love. I'm here with Brennan from Consumers Concrete, and today we're going to talk about curing and sealing concrete. Can you tell me why that's a necessary process when you're dealing with concrete?
Yeah, so oftentimes people do not cure and seal their concrete and then they start having issues. The reason that you do want to cure and seal your concrete is curing allows the concrete to stay moist during the strength gaining phase. So concrete is a hydration process, so you actually want it to remain moist so that way it can get up to the full design strength and durability. Now sealing, you want to do that because that provides a protective layer on the exterior surface of the concrete to help withstand whatever nature throws its way.
Okay. And if you don't properly cure and seal it, what does it look like?
Yeah, so you've got a lot of different things that can happen. So one of the very common ones is called scaling. It's when the concrete flakes off the surface and it exposes the aggregates underneath and gives it a very rough, finished look. The other thing that you can get is called crazed cracking. That happens when the surface of the concrete dries out before that it's reached full strength, and you get a lot of small little crazed cracking, also called plastic shrinkage cracking.
Okay. And at that point, is the concrete, can you do anything about it, or do you have to demo and?
No, there's really nothing you can do. You can grind down the surface and put a penetrating sealer on it, but it's very costly.
Okay. And then speaking of products, what would you recommend to a homeowner when it comes to curing and sealing? Yeah,
a simple cost-effective product would be a cure and seal. It's all in one, so you get the curing benefits and sealing. And we would highly recommend something with a minimum 25% solids in that product.
Awesome. Well, thanks so much, Brennan. Great to connect with you on this.
Thank you.
I'm here today with Stuart from Northville Lumber. He's the 5th generation owner of the oldest company in the state of Michigan. Stuart, my question for you today is homeowners are calling and asking all kinds of questions about all the new materials that are out there, the different types of materials. How would you be able to help a homeowner that has questions like that?
Well, we have experience in most of these new materials. The last 30 years has brought us all sorts of ultra low maintenance exterior products, as well as unique new interior products. We stock a lot of these at Northville Lumber and we have experience with them. So all they have to do is tell us what they're trying to accomplish and we can help guide them.
Nice, nice. And so if a homeowner, say, is looking to build a new deck, are you saying that, there would be multiple products that they could look at and you guys could show them how the whole deck's, because it's not all composite material, right? Or
sure,
plastic.
Sure. We still use a lot of wood in most any residential construction project.
Okay.
But we have products today that will withstand the weather extremes that we have in the state of Michigan and require very little maintenance over the lifetime of the project.
Yeah.
We can show you those, you can touch it, feel it, take home samples, and really understand the product before you have to make a purchase decision.
Right, and so many other things like doors and windows and siding, all of that stuff too, right? You guys have all of that material that you can show us and help guide them.
And what we just talked about with regards to composite decking really does apply to most any type of project. We have similar products with similar attributes.
Stuart, that was great information. If you want more information, call Northville Lumber or go to their website at northvillelumber.com.
I'm here with Devin from Paul Davis Restoration. And Devin, today I'd love to hear from you about your specialty, fire restoration. Can you walk me through what the first 24 hours for a homeowner looks like after a fire?
Yeah, so when the fire department or the fire marshal deems it safe to enter, you want to get on the phone with your insurance company and let them know what happened. You want to know that the fire department deemed it safe and you're getting a board up company to come and board it up and protect your property. So that leads to the next thing, getting a restoration company out to come get it boarded up, temp fence it, whatever it needs to protect it for the time being. They can also help with any information, what you should do, any tips that they can recommend at the time being with working with the insurance.
So you've got fire marshal, insurance company, and then the restoration company.
Yep,
Okay.
get boarded up.
Amazing. And what are some things a homeowner should avoid after a fire?
Yeah, so you want to avoid really, going in there. A lot of times you want to think about getting your stuff out. It's not always the case. The only thing you really should grab on that night is your valuables, cash or jewelry. But you don't want to take anything to the place you're staying because you transfer the soot, you transfer the stuff. You want to make sure it's clean before it goes.
How can a homeowner protect themselves from a fire?
You want to change your smoke detector batteries once a year. You want to clean them, make sure they're ready to go, and avoid the unnecessary stuff. So like leaving a candle on, leaving your space heater plugged in, especially when you leave home.
And then if people want to connect with you, where can they find you?
PDR Michigan, and then our emergency number is 800-676-9118.
Amazing. Thanks so much, Devin.
Thank you.
I'm here with Dan from Acme Exteriors, and today, Dan, I know you specialize on all things home exterior, right?
Yes.
And roofing is one of those. So could you talk me through, in Michigan, what is the most popular roofing material and why?
Okay. By far, asphalt shingles are the most common that we use in Michigan. They're very affordable. They, again, very common, look really great, pretty long lasting, and also easy to repair.
Awesome. So talk to me about repairs. I know, we're in the remodeling business, and we'll oftentimes get people calling and asking for repairs. So how do shingles repair? Can you go up and just do repairs on roofs, or?
Yeah, absolutely. Storm damage is a common one. We have wind or trees hitting roofs, and we can oftentimes very easily pull out a few shingles and put in new ones. Do those simple repairs as long as they're taken care of quickly.
Awesome. And then at Acme Exteriors, if you have somebody call in who is looking for a roof replacement or repair, what's your process? How do you, what's the next steps for them?
Yep, the first step is for us to schedule a time when we can go out and actually assess the roof. And we get up on the roof and we'll look at it. And we also might want to look at other things like the attic space, because the roof is a system as a whole. And then we can make the best recommendation from that point.
Awesome. And I've seen some of your roof reports. They're really detailed and thorough. So can you talk me through what that process is? What does an actual roof report look like?
Yeah, so typically if we're doing a report, there's usually a cost to that, but we go around and we take pictures and we give a full assessment of that roof, which can be used for an estimate in the future, even if it was somebody else that was looking at it.
Well, thanks so much for sharing, Dan. If you do have any roof needs, definitely reach out to Dan from Acme Exteriors. He would love to help you out. You can even get that full roof report with the detailed information to help you through the entire process. I'm here with Heather, and she's going to give us insights into what is currently trending for flooring right now. So could you tell me a little bit about what you're seeing come in for carpets?
Carpeting is back.
Wow.
It is hitting us hard. It's a great thing to see because with carpet, we can give you the warmth and softness that people are wanting in their home. We live in Michigan, so more months out of the year are spent in cold weather.
Yeah.
So we are seeing a lot more patterns and texture changes.
Yeah.
At Carpet Studio, we have lots to offer for the people that want to be a little bit more bold or that want that subtle but beautiful texture to the carpet.
That's amazing. We're seeing the same thing in just whole home remodels, those deep colors coming back in and wanting to bring more coziness to a space. That's amazing. So what about hardwoods? I mean, what are you seeing for hardwood flooring right now as far as stain colors go? What are people leaning towards?
The naturals seem to be really popular. We are getting to branch out into some herringbone, some framing patterns and things like that. So our installers are being challenged, and it's great to see people loving their home and not just making it so that it's ready to sell to the next person.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then one more, what about tile? What are you seeing for tile right now?
Tile is coming back also. We're seeing a lot more bathrooms being remodeled completely with tile on the floor and the walls of the shower. We're seeing a lot more backsplash coming in, and
Okay.
more bold patterns with that as well. People are starting to embrace the idea of keeping their home and making it just what they want.
That's amazing. Well, thank you so much. Appreciate your time.
Thank you.
I'm here with Michael Flory, founder and CEO of Custom Built Design and Remodeling. And Michael, today I'd love to hear, when a homeowner is ready to reach out to Custom Built, what does that process look like?
Well, we have built an amazing website. Isabel, you've been super instrumental in kind of taking the vision and really making it reality for people. But they can go to our website, and we have a learning center, and they can start learning. We have a roadmap that kind of lays out the whole process. And whether you're going to DIY something or self-manage, or you're looking for us to be your full-service design, build, and builder, we have the resources for you that you can start there, start getting educated. Certainly, if you're ready to talk to somebody, you can click that button, fill out a form, and then reach out to us. And then one of our project development advisors will reach back out to you and really start the conversation. And that starts with an initial phone call. We'll have a great conversation, learn a little bit about your project, and then if it makes sense, we would come out and meet with you in your home and just begin the journey.
Amazing. And beginning that journey, you talked about our roadmap that we have out, right? So yeah, it's really that initial phone call, the discovery call, the in-home consultation. At that in-home consultation, what are we doing when we're out there?
Yeah, so I think it's like three things. It's let's sit down. We're going to be together around your table, listening to your vision. If there's two of you, if there's a husband and wife or a partner, like having all of us in the room is super important to gather your vision. The second thing we're going to do is, once we have our notes and all that, we'll go look at the existing conditions, because remodeling is special that way. The existing conditions are so important. And then last, we're going to take measurements and pictures, and so we can go back and work up your budget for your project.
Amazing. Thank you, Michael. I hope you've been enjoying the Design and Remodeling Show, where we talk all things expert insights and practical tips to help you transform the place you live into a home you love. We look forward to seeing you next time.
Thank you for watching the Design and Remodeling Show with Custom Built. See you next week.